when I was working, you see, again, I was not sat in an office all the time. I used to travel all over the northwest of England, taking minutes down at meetings. So again, that was right up my street. And Ian is the same. Ian never wanted an office job. I mean, mine was an office job, but I either went in a taxi with the boss to a town hall or a council offices. If there wasn't a bus or a train route, if it's some council offices or that out in the country areas, I used to be my job to order a taxi, a pool car we called it, it was, and then this chauffeur used to come, a lady, always a lady, in a green not WVS, but she was like that. She wore a green uniform, and she was always drove the car, and she'd take me boss and myself to wherever we were going. You see, this is only if it was out in the country and no train to get there or bus. But I used to get a voucher thing to get me ticket if I was travelling by train. And the meeting usually began 10:30 in the morning. So I'd have to go to work first, and then they'd give me a voucher and to go and get my ticket and get the train. If I could get away with it, I used to travel without seeing the boss on the train. Or, I used to go perhaps a bit earlier than him. But I used to go right from South Cheshire right up to Barrow in Furness, taking minutes down at town halls and council offices. But then I'd perhaps take 200 pages of shorthand down at the meeting. At the meeting there were all sanitary inspectors, or chairman of the Lord Mayor used to come in, or the chairman of the council, whatever he was. And you used to have to stand up when you came in. We used to have our favourite places. There was only two of us did this. And we used to have our favourite places, depending where we got the best eats. We always got refreshments. And of course, if the mayor or somebody was with us, you got a bit, extra. They were putting the extra things on, like. And we used to go, like, in the gardens at Buxton. We used to go in the restaurant there and have, afternoon tea sometimes, cream teas and things. But otherwise, you got, like, luncheons or a snack if it was morning, coffee and biscuits or a cake or something in the council offices. So again, I was travelling either by train, by bus somewhere, I enjoyed the train travels, you see. Again, in trains.
It's played an enormous part of your life, hasn't it? It's been ever present.
And it didn't cost me anything, that. But you see, and the boss, parts of the talk, the meetings, at every one, like when there was lots of rats and mice about and things, they'd give a lecture on Weil's disease, which you get from rats and mice. You can get Weil's disease, Weils it is. And they used to have 2 full pages of single print, typewritten print on, which the boss used to read out. Well, I had no need to bother taking all that time, because that was a set thing, so I had no need to do that. And if it was at the Central Library, we used to go in the theatre, and we had to sit with all the bigwigs. The bosses had come from London as well, from the Ministry of Food in London, or it later changed its name to Ministry of Agriculture. And then it became Agriculture, Fisheries and Food. That's what it ended up as. And the bosses all from London used to come up and sit round the top table, as we called it, with either Mary or myself. There was only one went to the meeting, each meeting. I'd be with the bigwigs on the table, on the platform, which I never liked, Central Library, and then all the men had filled the library. You see, your seats where you go watch the concerts now, I suppose. Not the concert place where you can go and where you theatre part. I mean, of the Central Library. I don't know what it's like now, but I've not been in since
moved now.
Been altered. But all the men used to sit there, and I had to write numbers down for every seat. This is the part you used to hate. Whenever a man stood up to speak, you got to get which number it was and start writing. And, well, so I'd come back 200 odd pages, and even that these 2 sheets as well to be typed out. It all had to be typed out. What I used to do was come back to read it back, all what I'd done to the boss, go in and read it, and he'd sit there and decide what he wanted to go in and what he wanted to leave out, and he'd redictate it. So there I was taking it down again. Then after he dictated it to me, I had to go in and type it. Now that's where I said I didn't like the typing. By this time I was fed up of what and I had to type it all. And then I had to do it in draft first. Then he'd go in and look at it. Anything he didn't like, he changed. And then it'd have to be done on a stencil, Gestetner, which you then put on the copy, this Gestetner machine. They all had to be printed off then for every member that had been at the meeting. Now, that part I hated of the job. The shorthand, yes, but the typing, no. I got fed up of it. There was 2 meetings a week. Some places I liked to go. Mary's mother was she had got a father. Father had died, so her mother had very bad health. So she couldn't stay overnight anywhere. But if it was like Lancaster and Morecambe, they always used to set it up so Lancaster meeting was one day and Morecambe had us the next day. So Leonora could stay overnight at a hotel, couldn't she? So when the boss gave me the nod, say at 4:30, or between 4 and 4:30 I would say, it perhaps nod his head. You go, So I put my things together very, quickly, quietly, and I'd creep out. And that was to catch the train. The train I was supposed to catch, would be the latest was 6 o'clock. But if he let me go before, which he often did, I say between 4 and 4:30. Like at Southport, when we went to Southport, I got out of Southport Town Hall, and Leonora then would go round the shops till 6 o'clock. Before I caught the train home, I knew all the trains around 6 to 4:30 and to 7 o'clock. Those are the trains I came home on, not at 4:30 as the boss thought. I didn't have to go back in work. But if it was a pool car, I'd no option but to wait till the meeting was over properly and travel back with him in the car. You see, she used to drop us off at the office then, and then I'd come, catch the thing home.